Jai Shri Krishna. In Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna has told Arjun Gyan so many times in different ways. In chapter 2, he described about Atma and Amar hai, Atma cannot be destroyed, cannot be cut, cannot be burned, nothing. And the reason he said that, those are the ways human bodies were disposed of. They were buried in the ground or thrown up for vultures to eat and all that sort of stuff. So he said, this body is destructible, but there is something Atma within this body which cannot be destroyed, no matter what. And a lot of people say, somebody look at somebody, say his spirits are down, right? Or he is up on top of the world, right? So that means that Atma is experiencing either the low level or the high level of consciousness. So, which is, in this case, is his man. So his mind is affected in such a way that is dejected. Okay? So he's feeling low. Or somebody's mind is very elated because he's got something great he wanted to get, or people are saying, you are so great, you did such a good job. Feels good, right? But Atma remains the same. This is the state of mind which changes. Atma is not affected by it. Because Atma is totally separate from everything. So then Bhagavan Krishna also went into Gyan, into chapter 7, chapter 9, and then to 13th. In chapter 7, Bhagavan said that these three gunas, they are born out of Maya by the desire of Parameshwar. Because Maya is Brahma. So Maya doesn't do anything, Maya just is there. It has pervaded everything. So it needs some instruments to do the work. And those are these three gunas. And and Maya has the okay of Ishwar to have these three gunas do the work. So all over, everywhere in the whole creation, wherever you see, you will see, if you can see, if you have the knowledge or your capacity to look at it, to see something, then you can see that these three gunas are working everywhere. They are everywhere, they are doing all the work. Somebody gets upset, Tamoguna is active in that person. Okay? Somebody is very happy and very quiet and calm, nothing bothers, Satoguna is active in it. Doesn't mean it doesn't have other two gunas, but predominant guna is Satoguna or Rajoguna or Tamoguna. When person goes into Rajoguna, they run after worldly things. Okay? And Rajoguna invariably it can lead both ways. It can take you up or it can take you down. It's in the middle. So these three gunas, they are born out of Maya, which is Ishwar's main primordial Shakti. And they are affecting the whole creation everywhere. But they cannot affect Ishwar. Ishwar is not affected by three gunas. Why? Because Ishwar is Nirgun, is Gyan. Others like Jeev and Devata, they are in a Gyan. They don't have the Gyan. So they are affected by three gunas. All Devatas are divided into three gunas. Okay? Some people worship Vishnu. Some people worship Mahadev. Some people worship Devi. They are nothing but manifestation of three gunas, different gunas. Vishnu manifests Satogun. The Shiv or Mahadev is manifestation of Tamogun. And Devi same way. Devi all, because Devi, what is Devi? Devi is Shiv's. Okay? Devi is nothing else, nothing different. Shiv's, what you call, it's not called wife, but
Consort.
Consort is the right word. So Devi is consort of Shiv. Okay? And nothing else. So both are Tamogun. Okay, that's why Devi can take different forms. That Devi can be Satogun with Vishnu. Okay? So who is consort of Vishnu? Lakshmi. Right? Then Devi can take form of Brahma. So Brahma's consort is Saraswati. Right? And Devi take form of Kali, Durga, and that's the consort of Mahadev. That's all it is. They don't have as much power as Mahadev or Brahma or Vishnu. Their power is a lot less, but they are there in this working the same way. So the main power is that of Maya. So now we come to this 15th chapter. We learned in 13th chapter Vatik Kshetra. In 14th chapter we went into detail about three gunas. And at the end of that chapter, Bhagavan said to get beyond these three gunas. You have to go beyond the three gunas to go to Ishwar. So he said, what is beyond three gunas? Then he says, it's Brahma. It's Ishwar, is beyond three gunas. Then we learned what is there. It's Prakash. There's a lot of light. Okay. No ignorance there. Avidya is not there. There is only Anand. Okay. So now, in this chapter we will go more into, Bhagavan went more into what that Ishwar Tattva is. So I wonder how many people really realize that Gita Gyan is the Gyan of the means to attain moksha. That's all there is. You see other scriptures, there are stories. Okay? There is no story in Gita. It's pure Gyan, knowledge. And you need that to attain moksha. Without Gyan, there is no moksha. So people who are interested, or I won't say interested, whose karma has brought them up to the point where they are gonna get into this, on this path, they get more attracted to Gita. Because Gita is Gyan. And those who have the capacity or who have done in their previous life, they have done their karma in such a way that they become patra of being on this pathway to moksha. And the moksha means free of every bondage. Complete freedom. So I find the answer to this question in chapter 7, Shlok 3. Bhagavan says, first, just about everyone in all religion, they all want to attain what Hindus call moksha. Right? In every religion, they are all after what Hindu people call moksha. To those in Abrahamic religions, it is the concept of heaven. To them, heaven is the moksha. That is their moksha. In Islam, it is called Jannat. There, they expect to see rivers flowing. Beautiful heavenly women will attend them. They will be feasting on grapes and all kind of wines and everything else. Why is their concept that way? In all these religions, you will see women are subordinate to men. Okay. Men go to heaven, women are attending to them, all that. In Islam, there was no water, it's desert. Okay. There is not much food produced. So their desire is to have all these water and everything and flowing and fountains and have grapes and wine and everything which they, and what they get in heaven, that's their concept. That's why when Mughals came to India, they enjoyed it because there was a lot of water, there was a lot of fruits to be, so they liked it. Christians believe that after death, the believers will go to heaven, where they will meet all their relatives. And that's why the family concept in Christianity is so intense. Because we will meet you in the heaven. In all these faiths, there is heaven, and those who do not go to heaven will burn in hell forever. That's the belief. Now the question comes, where all the people come from? There is no gyan about that in any of these faiths. And when they die, they will go be buried, and at the day doomsday comes, then it will decided for them who goes to heaven, who goes to hell. And once you are going to heaven, you will be there forever. When you go to hell, you're going to burn in hell forever. And so that's what the belief is. There is no rebirth. Okay? Any of these religions, there is no rebirth. They don't believe in rebirth. And that's the reason why these people using science to find out where they come from. Right? When this creation started. They all want to find that out, right? We're going to go deep in space and we find all these answers. And that's what the whole thing is about. Because they don't know where they come from. Here in Gita, Bhagavan Krishna tells us exactly. In Brahma Vidya, we are told where we come from. Right? So once you are dead, you have no second chance. That's it. Yet, their Allah or God is adjectivized as Rahim or kind person. What kind of kindness is that when you don't give somebody second chance? Even in our laws in society, we give second chance to people. Right? In Christianity, they'll say, you are reborn, you get second chance. But you must be reborn and be in the faith. It appears that killing other life form is okay. They don't believe in other life forms they have the soul or Atma, what they call soul, we call Atma in other life forms. It's fine to kill them and eat them. Actually, in Islam, they used to kill these animals with a ritual. Okay? And they will do the prayers and then they will eat it. So that, because in that area, that's the only thing they could eat. There are no wheat growing, no grains growing, nothing growing in there. So that was okay for them. Hindus and other Eastern faith do believe in rebirth. There's always a second chance. Always. Bhagavan Sri Krishna points out this in chapter 4, Shlok 5. He says, Bahuni me vyatitanim Janmani tav Arjuna, Charjuna. Arjun, you and I both have taken many, many births. Tanyaham Ved Sarvani. Aham mean I know all of them. Natva Vet Parantap. Parantap, you do not have any knowledge of them. Because he was questioning Bhagavan Krishna. That you are my contemporary, how can you say that I gave this Gyan to Manu, Ikshvaku, Manu and all that. From Parampara, the Gyan has been. So Bhagavan Krishna says, you don't know. You and I both. You means Jeev and I means Parmeshwar, Ishwar has taken many births, come in this world many, many times. So now back to the first question. Bhagavan says that hardly 1 in 1,000 of men strive to realize me. Think about it. Hardly in 1,001 will even think about real towards me. Of those striving yogis, again, some rare one devoting himself exclusively to me knows me in reality. Okay? So it's not, there is no story. If there is stories and all that, the priest will say stories, then will bhajan and kirtan and all. People will be happy, they come in there and eat and, oh, I had good time, lot of nice puja. There is nothing like that in Gita. It's Gyan, pure Gyan, nothing else. And Bhagavan Krishna says, Gyan is such a fire that cleanses you from within. It burns off your karma. So there is no story here, it's the reality here. The primary reason for this, that people do not think about it, they have no inclination towards it, appears to be that most humans remain engaged in activities of sense activities, gratification. Everybody is running after something which they think will gratify their senses. Why people work so hard? They don't have to work that hard. If main purpose of human life is what? To pursue Parmeshwar. Okay. So to do that, you need your body functioning. You need a place so you can stay there, right? You need enough to eat to sustain the body. What do you need other than that? Whatever else we run after is we are running after for sense gratification. Bigger house, big car, nice clothes, have a lot of parties and everything, It's all gratification of senses. You do it, and after a while you get tired of it. Now you want something else. Okay? So that's the reason not many people, hardly few people will even be attracted towards Gita Gyan. Their life is like that of creatures beneath human form. These people who are run after the money and fame and whatever it is, their life is beneath human form, because those creatures below the human form only live for that. That's all they live for. To eat and breed. Think about it. Human beings are supposed to be higher creatures, right? Higher consciousness people. So they have to be above these other creatures, birds and animals. All they want is to eat, breed, sleep, that's it. And when they die, they die. In Gita, there is a Gyan about sansar. Jeev, karma, all these things are told in Gita. Unfortunately, people tend to interpret this Gyan in ways that suits their ways of action. They modify this whole thing to suit them. Right? If you look at the Christian's Bible, ask somebody, do you have the original Bible which was written when Jesus Christ was alive? They won't even know what script was used in there. Now the Bible has changed over time because the king followed what faith of Christianity, that's the Bible will be there for that. James Bible, this Bible, whatever. So it's not the same Bible what used to be in the very beginning of Christianity. Someday I'll tell you what script was written in. But people tend to just follow it blindly. And there are stories in the Bible, aren't there? So everything is changed around, like Advait Vedantis. They interpret Gita in their own way. Okay? Is it right? Who knows? I don't think it's right. So what we read here, what we study here, is based on what Bhagwan Sri Chakradhar, who was the Ishwar Avatar, told us about it. From his own mouth came out. So there is we just look at each word, what this word means, in the light of what we know from Bhagwan Sri Chakradhar. So, in chapter 13 and 14, we read the Gyan in detail. Chapter 13 is purely Gyan. In chapter 13, we learned about Kshetragna, the fruit which is born of the Kshetra. Kshetra means a khet, field. You put seed in there, right? Some plant will grow. It'll bear some fruit, correct? So the fruit born of a kshetra has some effect of the kshetra and that of other things. It's not purely effect of the field. Every one of us is made from two factors. One is our own mental level, which we call sanskar. We bring something with us when we are born, our mental level, capacity, way to think, our buddhi and all that, which is based on our past karma. Those are our sanskar. And the other, what we call paternal qualities, patrik sampatti, which come from our parents. Okay? So there are two things. What comes from the parents and our own sanskar, which we bring with us. Both these work in all of us. That is why born in a good family, one turn out good and the other not. In a good family, one child will be excellent, other child may be not so good. Right? Similarly, children born in not such a good family, so-called good family, turn out to be excellent. People lose their parents, anath, orphans, and they turn out to be great. So, in both these cases, what is working is their sanskar. They have taken over. In case of a child who is not so great, born into great family, his sanskars are taking him over there. That's what's taken over. Other way, the same way. So sanskar is the key. Parents are just the medium through which the child or the Atma takes birth. That's all. It's nimit. Parents have very little to do. You can do all the DNA test and everything, where you come from. It's what you are within. That is the key. Okay? And what we are within is what we had done in the past. So, other factors play a role also. How does it happen? This happened by the ratio of three gunas. It is these guna which are active in us and make us do the karma. So if satoguna is in our sanskar, satoguna is predominant, we'll act in a satoguni way. If rajoguna is predominant, we'll act in a rajoguna way. Similarly in tamogun, right? They cause bondage. These karma which guna make us do, they cause bondage. Now it's very easy to say they cause bondage. What is bondage? Bandhan. How does it happen? A person eats to sustain his life. We call it sattvic person. He just wants to sustain his life. Other than that, he's just doing puja and everything else, Then he likes the taste of the food. It's a very tasty. Oh, somebody has cooked this food, I must eat this, and it's really tasty. What happens? He eats more of that food. Because tasty, he overeats. That is Rajogun. I want more of this, what I like, right? Lahore, right? It's good, I want more of it. Nobody else can have. I want everything for myself. That is Rajoguna. Now, after he ate so much of good food which he likes, of course, with that he drinks something too. Now he wants to sleep. I want to rest. I'm not going to do anything. I want to rest now. That is Tamogun came into play. Nidra Bhay is Tamogun. Next day before he slept so much, the next day he can't sleep now. Right? Happens sometime, not? So he takes sleeping pills. Right? I got to sleep. Do I have to go to work next day? No. So he takes sleeping pills. Later on, he is still under the influence of the sleeping pills. He goes driving a car, go to work, he gets into accident. Okay? Because he's still under the influence of the medication. So, it is three gunas that run the sansar. That is how three gunas work. Satogun, you just sustain, you just want what you need, that's all you care for, that's it. Rajogun, you want everything which you like or you think is great for myself. Nobody else can have it. Whatever gold there is should be all mine, right? And then you get into a situation where that thing takes over because everything has its own power. The guna is working in that property too, in that money too. There's guna in there. And so what happens? It takes over and take you down into tamogun, make you do certain things which you really should not be doing. So it is three guna that run this sansar. Everywhere these three gunas are working at all time, 24/7, non-stop. We also learn that to go beyond three gunas, we need to do Parameshwar Bhakti. End of that chapter, we learned that. Now Bhagavan Sri Krishna is talking about that Parameshwar, Ishwar Tattva, in this chapter. What is Ishwar? What is Parameshwar? So, whenever Ishwar, the Gyan of Ishwar can only be given by Ishwar. Nobody else can give that Gyan. Because nobody knows him. He is the only one who knows who he is, what he is. Because he is beyond everything. Okay? The one who is lower has no knowledge what is beyond up there. Right? So he tells about that Gyan. First of all, he tells what is not Ishwar. When he gives Gyan, he will tell what is not Ishwar. Everything which is not Ishwar, he will tell that. And in the end, having negated all of this, where this is not Ishwar, this is not Ishwar, this is not Ishwar, having negated all this, he exposes what Ishwar is. Okay? That's how Ishwar gives Gyan. Every time. Whatever Ishwar Avatar has given Gyan, that is how they give Gyan. They will say, this is what this is, this is what this is, but it's not Ishwar. It's got this much power, it's not Ishwar. Right? It's not Parmeshwar. After negated everything that exists, then you come across Ishwar. Because he's beyond everything. He has covered everything up. Everything is within him. Right? So when everything is within him, there is nothing beyond. Correct? So when there is nothing beyond, then you got to say, well, this is what you should know. This is what you should know. No. Keep going up and up and up. And that's what Gyan is. Knowing something and then knowing that this is not Ishwar, this is what it is. So knowing something for what it is what Gyan is. You understand? So if you know Devata, you know Manushya, human being. Human beings have their own powers, right? Which are given to them by their Devata based on their karma. So some people show magic, right? But that's not Ishwar because it's not sustained. It's nothing real there. Then go to Devata. Devatas have a lot of power. They can do a lot of things. But they cannot give mukti, moksha. So they are also not Ishwar. Right? So keep going up and up in hierarchy, everything. Then in the end, you come across what Ishwar is. Then he exposes, he tells, Avatare, he tells everything. Without him telling that I am Ishwar, you would not know. That's what he did to Arjun. He told Arjun, I am Ishwar. Look at me, I am standing in front of you. Do my bhakti. He didn't tell anybody else. So those people who have earned the right to get Gyan, Ishwar gives them Gyan. Okay? It's very fair there. Whatever you have earned, that's what you're going to get. No less, no more. Ishwar can give more based on, because he what they call karna. Okay? He always gives more than what we deserve. But nobody else does that. Earlier in Gita, Bhagavan has said, the sansar is in me, but I am not in it. Remember that? Mm-hmm. What that means? Everything is within me, he says. I am not in any of that. So you cannot find me there. That's what he's trying to say. You cannot find me there. You can only find me where I am. Unless I tell you, you will not know who I am. That's why there is bhajan say, na jane kish bhesh mein bhava mil jaye Bhagavan. He may be anywhere, in any form. He only tells who needs to know. The sansar is where all activities happen. The sole purpose of sansar is to elevate Jeev beyond all devatas, beyond the three gunas. That is the purpose of this creation. That is why sansar was created. And you learn that in this chapter. For this, Ishwar takes avatar and gives jnana to elevate all the jeev beyond the avatars towards moksha. Ishwar personally takes avatar and gives jnana. The jnana cannot be understood. You can read Gita, people can read Gita all they want to read. They won't understand. Unless they have the kripa or the grace of Ishwar, you will not understand what Gita is saying. The jnana consists of jnana of Jeev, Devta, Prapanch and Parameshwar. So here, look at it this way. Jeev, Devta, Prapanch, Parameshwar. There are four things, that's all there is. Jeev is within all of us. All the creatures have Jeev, right? Then Devta are controlling the whole thing, running everything with three gunas. And the Prapanch is all this stuff that you see around. Everything is made up of. It's Prapanch. It's Java. It has no life of its own. That is why you take a mansion which is nobody lives, abandoned mansion, itself slowly decays. It has no life of its own. When people live there, it's different. When nobody lives there, it's just dirt. It falls apart. So in this chapter, so here we see Jeev, Devta, Prapanch. And in the end, there is Parameshwar. So once you know about Jeev Gyan, you know Devta Gyan, you know Prapanch Gyan, then you'll know what these real things are. What is reality about these things? That means you will know that none of them are Ishwar. Okay? Knowing the reality of Jeev, Devta, Prapanch means you know they are not Ishwar. In reality, they are not Ishwar. Then you go to Ishwar. So that's what we said. First, Ishwar tells the jnana of everything in there, Jeev, Devta, Prapanch. And then in the end, he says, that is what I am. I'm not in anything else. So through negation, you come across what is reality. So in this chapter, the very first thing which Bhagavan said is that the sansar will continue till every jeev has attained moksha. This will keep on going on and on and on, and nobody knows when it's going to end. Until each and every jeev has attained moksha, this sansar will keep going on. Because it is his desire that all the jeev get jnana and get moksha. And because of the desire, the sansar was created. So it will continue. It'll continue in different ways, which we'll know how it's going to do that. Bhagavan used metaphor of a tree to describe the sansar. Why did Bhagavan use this metaphor? First of all, karma can only be performed in the sansar. That's it. Nowhere else karma can be performed. Any activity which happens in sansar is called karma. Anything we do is all karma. And our karma divided into one of the three gunas. And one of the devta takes over, says, I will give fruit of action to this person. Every karma bears a fruit. Every action will bear a fruit. If you work more than your body can sustain, what will happen? The fruit will be, you'll be tired. Right? If you don't eat, starve, you will die. That's the phal, right? So every karma has got a phal to it. Why an analogy of fruit has been used to describe the consequence of the karma? You could have said just, it's the consequence of the karma. Not, but he said it's karm phal. Why did he use the word phal? Fruit. You see, every karma is performed to get something. You don't do anything for nothing. There's some motive behind every action that people do. Whether they know or they don't. There's always a motive behind every karma. It is done with some motive, it is done to fulfill some desire. Right? Agree? It makes sense to describe the result as a fruit, since a fruit can be sweet or it can be sour or in between. Okay? So what we think will bear a sweet, nice fruit for me, we do that karma. We don't have the gyan to know that this karma will bear that sweet fruit. It could be bitter, it could be sour, it could be whatever. Tasteless. So that's why the fruit has been used as a metaphor for the karma, consequence of the karma. So with the karma, you get sukh, you get dukh. That's what you get. You get pleasure or you get pain. Or in between. Correct? So that's why you use the word phal, fruit. And what it is that bears the fruit? What does bear the fruit? A tree bears a fruit. You put a mango tree, you get a mango fruit, right? And the mango fruit may have different taste. Who knows? You may think that you put this variety in there, it may give someone something else. You never know. There also the kshetra has effect. The soil, the place that you plant the fruit has got effect, definite effect. And what is in the DNA of that fruit, of that mango fruit, right? The seed. What is inside the seed? That also, and that trait is expressed based on the soil or the kshetra. So both of them working. And we don't know what will bear, what kind of fruit is going to bear. We hope it's going to bear that, right? So we should remember that only in human form Jivatma can perform karma. When Jivatma comes into human form, only then karma can be performed. And animals, insects, they don't perform karma. They cannot do karma. Because they are not capable of performing karma. Karma can only be performed in human beings, and that too, human beings with all the faculties active. Okay? Somebody who is insane, no karma. He's just like vegetable, like animal, that's all. He cannot think. He cannot, whatever he does is not karma. It's the phal that he is being given, fruit has been given to him to suffer. Okay? And no matter how much suffering a person gets, or any animal gets, nobody wants to die, nobody wants to leave the body. Correct? Jivatma in any other yoni is incapable of performing karma, since it takes fully developed antahkaran, chatushtay, for the performance of the karma. What is antahkaran chatushtay? Antahkaran. Anta means within, inside. Karan means the tool, the instruments. Chatushtay. There are 4 of them that work inside of us, which is man, mind, buddhi, which is intellect, chit, which is consciousness, ahankar, which is ego. These 4 things work. Unless their 4 things are working properly, cannot perform karma. Even the humans who do not possess this cannot perform karma. Then Bhagavan describes what this tree is like. It has branches and leaves in it. Tree always has branches and leaves, don't it? Leaves of this tree grow, all the time grows. Leaves are growing. Tree is growing. Prani takes refuge in the shade of these leaves. We are all taking refuge in the leaves of this tree which is called sansar. Right? We are sustaining our life from that. Then Bhagavan says how the leaves of the tree grow. He will tell us how they grow. Then he said that there are benefits of the leaves. Yes, it is the foliage becomes karma. What is the benefit of the leaf? That is the karma. As activities within the foliage give rise to the production of the fruit, similarly sansar bears fruit of karma, and life after life, human remain tied to the fruit of the karma. Do you understand? What do you understand? Tell me. The leaves are producing, and that's the karma, right? We are in the shade of those leaves. We are doing the karma, participating in it. And that is the fruit of that karma is what the fruit of the tree is. That's why in Christianity, to Adam and Eve, they say, do not eat the fruit of this tree. Okay? When you eat the fruit of the tree, you partake, you become bonded to the fruit of that action. Okay? It's there too. But we don't understand. And we are tied to these fruits. Life after life, we keep on getting more and more into that fruit. We want more. We want this. We want more of this. Right? In the sansar, humans are under contract of these karma. Karmanubandhin manushya loke. We will come to that. What is karmanubandhin? Karma anubandh. Anubandh is contract. How is anubandh the contract? Anu means after. Bandh means which ties you. You sign a paper, now you are tied to that contract. Anubandh. Understand? You do something, you made a contract. Now you are tied to that contract. You have to fulfill that contractual obligation. And that happens Manushyalok. All the human beings are getting tied up every day, all the time, into different contracts. Whenever we do karma, we have a contract of that karma. All give and take happens under these contracts. We are born, right? We are born to parents. Why we are born to those parents, not somebody else? It's contract. It's a contractual obligation from last life or whatever life it is that we are born there. Some of us born to give pleasure to the parents, some of us born to give pain to the parents, right? Correct? Everybody is not same, but they always give pleasure, pain to the parents. Because parents they had the contractual obligation to get that pain or pleasure from that other Atma, Jivatma. That's all it is. And after a while, that pain goes away, now pleasure comes in. So whatever the contract says, that's what we have to fulfill. Now we take the first shlok. Shri Bhagavan Uvach.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhvamulamādhashakham Ashvatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavit.
Shri Bhagavan says, This sansar, he tells Arjun, this sansar is like a tree. Not any ordinary tree. It's not any ordinary tree. Ordinary tree will say the roots are down in the ground, right? Leaves are up on the top, fruits are bearing up there. It has tropism, geotropism, the root goes down in the ground, has got to go in the ground. You put a seed on top of the ground, root will come out and go in the ground. Geotropism, right? Phototropism. The shoot will always go up towards the light. But this tree is not any ordinary tree. He says sansar is like a tree, not any ordinary tree. This is an upside down tree. Right? Its root is above. And the branches grow downwards. That is how this sansar is. So it is growing from above. This means that it is rooted in the Devata. And Devata are higher than us humans. They are higher than Prapanch or Jeev. So root is in Devatas, higher up, Maya. That's where the root is. Our bodies are made from gross particles. Right? There's a lot of particles in our body. They're all held together. These particles are in turn made from finer particles. Sukshma. Prapanch. Like a small particles of sand gather and become a mountain, similarly our body is composed of small particles. They all put together and become a body. These have 5 elements and 3 gunas. The eightfold Prakriti, this is what called Ashtadha Prakriti. We need to eat to sustain our body. We need chemical energy. The food has to be digested, converted into different chemicals to be used by the body. Our body functions on chemical energy. On the other hand, the Devata has no need to eat. They don't eat. Now you say, well, I go to temple and I put fruit to the Devata, right? You say he doesn't eat? Well, so why do I give fruit to Devata? It is a ritual. That's what it is. Because after that, you yourself eat that fruit. Correct? Like prasad. You say it's prasad. So Devata became pleased by your offerings and he became prasad for you. But Devata didn't eat it, did he? Because Devata does not need to eat anything. Devata bodies are not like our bodies which run on chemical energy. They have their own powers on which they function. They have their powers to function, run their body. They don't need anything from outside. Their body is made of metal. It functions on their own powers, which is in the form of light, prakash. Okay, do you understand now? All Devata, there's Devata, different aspects of Devata. The aspect that we usually we want to look at is like Murti, right? Vishnu is with 4 hands and Shankh, Chakra, Gada, all that stuff, right? Mahadev has got snakes around his... But that's the Murti that we look at. We call that Devata. But that Devata Murti is not made like our bodies. Some of them look like human, but they are not made out of, they are made out of metal. And the power within that body is the light, their own light. That is the power which runs the body, runs the whole thing. It is the light energy which runs everything. Devta Shakti remains same at all times. They don't age like we do. Have you ever seen old Devta with grey hairs? They don't age. They remain same all the time. They are like a light which can move under its own powers. Okay? The UFO phenomena is due to Gandhar Devta. Gandhar Devta are always moving around in the space, Antariksh, between Earth and Sun. They don't go beyond that. They stay right there. And they have the power to establish an entire community just with the motion of a hand. They do like this, whole community starts. You will have trees, you will have elephants, you have animals, everything, waterfall, everything going on there. Then they make another gesture with the hand, everything disappears. Not there anymore. So when they say, well, we got some UFO people, we got some, and they bring in, and after a while, they all disappear. They all become, you can't tell what is in there. Because Devta Shakti is gone, the power is gone from there. So what is left is matter. Right? So you can't tell. You cannot catch Devta and say, I'm going to lock him in this room. There's no way. You got more power. It's light. It can move anywhere. So Bhagavan tells Arjun that the sansar has its roots above. All Shakti to run the sansar come from Devta. Okay? Understand? Devta has given Shakti to run everything. And we think Devta is Paramatma and we worship them. That's the reason we worship them. All Shakti to run sansar come from Devta. So Bhagavan says, Urdhamulam adhashakham. The root of the tree is higher up. Urdh, higher. Because Devta is higher than Prapanch, higher than Jeev. More powerful. And that's where the root is. All the nutrients which the tree gets through the roots, don't it? So all the energy this sansar is running on, coming from those devata, whereas the root of the sansar is there. It is a covenant of Ishwar to begin the creation. Okay? His desire was to start the creation for a purpose. And that's why this tree got manifested. It's not that tree was never there. It was always there. And we'll learn about that a little later on. But it got manifested. You understand? It was abhyakt. You could not see the tree. Now the tree is visible in form of sansar. And the root of this tree is up, higher up. And the main trunk, every tree has got a big trunk, right? The trunk is Maya. It grows below. Adha shakham. Adha means down below. Shakham means shakha, or the trunk. So the root is up top, and that's growing, the trunk is growing, the Maya is there coming down. That starts this creation. That is how creation starts. It is the primordial power of Ishwar. So the pravritti of Ishwar, pravritti means the desire, the ichcha of Ishwar. Pravritti doesn't have any selfish motive in there. Okay? It's not ichcha, it's pravritti. That of Ishwar is the root, and the Maya, which is under the control of Ishwar, is the trunk of the tree that it grows. So Ishwar pravritti is the root. Urdhmoolam is higher up, highest place. Adhashakam. And then the Maya, the trunk, is growing from there down in the sansar. Understand now? So it grows below. What are other peculiarities of the tree? Ashwatham. People have translated this Ashwath into people tree everywhere. In the form of creation, they say people tree. Wherever you read, they call people tree. So sansar is like a people tree. The people tree lives for centuries. That's why they call it people tree. Sansar is like people tree because it lives for a long time. It doesn't die easily. And another peculiarity of the people tree is its roots also grow out of its branches. Urdhmoola. So roots are coming down from the branches. Although this meaning of the word Ashwath has been commonly given, the correct meaning is a bit different. What Ashwath means is different. Shwa means tomorrow. In Sanskrit, Shwa means tomorrow. And Stha means it is. So you will say Shwastha, it is there tomorrow. The tree will be there tomorrow. Correct? So this means this tree is there tomorrow. Now when we add prefix a, it becomes Ashwatha. A means, a negates that it will be tomorrow. It negates it. You understand? That means it may not be there tomorrow. It may be there tomorrow or it may not be there tomorrow. The tree is like, sansar is like that. Today there is sansar, tomorrow pralaya came and sansar is not there. So Ashwath means that the sansar may be or may not be there tomorrow. You don't know. In fact, the sansar changes constantly. What you see today is not going to be there tomorrow. It changes. We see this in our body and everything around us. Our body replaces so many particles all the time, every day. New ones are formed, old ones are shedding. And that's what aging is. When you don't form many new ones and you keep shedding the old ones, the old age comes. Right? Body is not young anymore. However, it is said to be imperishable. This tree is said to be prahur abhyayam. Prahu means it is said to be abhyayam, imperishable. It cannot perish. So this tree whose roots are up and there's trunk coming down and the branches are down and leaves are all growing downwards, may be there tomorrow or may not be there tomorrow, but it is eternal. Okay? Ashwatham prahu abhyayam. It is called abhyay. It is eternal. Another meaning of Ashwath is unsteady or chanchal. So, as the leaves of the peepal tree are unsteady, they are always shake. If you look at peepal tree leaves, the, the, the leaf is big and attached with a very fine piece to the branch. And little wind, it just shakes. So same way, Ashwat means chanchal. So sansar is also unsteady. Nothing is steady in this sansar. It's totally unsteady. Any question? Unsteady means it's not going to be exactly same. It's going to this way, that way, any way it can go. That's why this sansar says sarp sriti. Sansar moves like a snake. A snake never runs straight. A snake goes sideways, this way, that way, this way. But always going forward. So sansar is going to keep moving on and on and on, but is moving in a very unsteady pace. It may be here tomorrow, it may not be here tomorrow, but it is eternal. Understand? Thus, in the first part of the shlok, Bhagavan says that the sansar is said to be an imperishable tree with its roots on the upside and branches spread downwards. This may or may not be here tomorrow. You can't count on sansar. Another way to look at it is, we all have our sansar. Our families, our sansar, right? We have grandparents and all that stuff. We call this our sansar. We live within that most of the time. No matter what anybody says, that's what we live in. Somebody passes away tomorrow. That sansar has changed now. Correct? It's not there. It's now new sansar. Correct? That's what this whole thing is about. Can't count on anything. Nobody has seen tomorrow. You go to sleep, who knows? Maybe you won't wake up, who knows? Right? This refers to the pralay. When Bhagavan says that this may be tomorrow, may be here tomorrow, or may not be here tomorrow, it's ashwat, but it is eternal. So that refers to pralay. Being here tomorrow or not, may not be here tomorrow, the pralay may be here tomorrow. Okay? Or the dissolution of the sansar, it may all disappear tomorrow. This does not mean that the sansar will not exist. When Bhagavan says, Avyayam, it is eternal. It may here tomorrow or not, but doesn't mean that it will not exist. It always will exist. You understand now? The process of creation will start all over again. When it is not here tomorrow, then new creation will start again. Because sansar is eternal. It's not going to disappear. Since the sansar is imperishable, so it's going to start again tomorrow. Or next day, or whenever time comes. During the pralay, it goes back to its causal form. Okay? There is karya, right? Karan. Sansar is the karya of the karan, which is the seed from which the karya starts. In our mind, our thought is the seed, is the karan. And our action is the karya of that karan. Because we thought, we are going to act that way. Correct? Everything is that way. Sansar is the same way. There is a seed of the sansar in the seed form, that is karan form or causal form, and there is a karya form. which means sansar is being created again. So when there is pralay, it goes back to its causal form, original seed form. And then from there it grows back again. The trunk will start and the leaves will start to grow again. But it never is always there. It is ashwat, but it is eternal. Next. Is it clear now?
Yes.
That is what this sansar is like. So should we get attached to this sansar? That's what Bhagavan says, don't get attached to sansar. It may not be here tomorrow. Then what you don't do? The pralay occurs for two reasons. Why it won't be here tomorrow? There's two reasons for that. One, when every jeev has been given jnana, and those who followed it get to the state of moksha. Every jeev has been given jnana one time. Some will follow, and they will go to moksha. And those who do not follow, they have not practiced according to jnana. To give them another chance, the Parmeshwar restarts the creation again, next creation. Because you only get jnana once in one srishti. That's it. And after that, you won't get jnana in that srishti. If you don't follow up on that, the srishti becomes shunya, your jnana is gone. You just wait around just like any other according to your karma. And then Bhagavan says, let's give these people, these jivatma, another chance. So let's start the creation again. So there is pralay and then there is creation. The purpose of the creation is to give jnana to jeev so jeev can attain moksha. So he gave jnana to everybody. But some of them followed, others didn't. And those who didn't follow, Ishwar is Kripalu. Okay? He is graceful. He says, well, wipe the slate clean, start all over again. So that's what, this starts from where the last one ends. Now what happens is, this creation, like we are sitting right here, everything. Suppose next instant there is pralay. Everything disappears. Right? We go to our causal form, all this stuff goes to its own causal form, everything disappears. Then the new Srishti starts. Because you should want to give another chance. We all will be like this again. We will not even know that we were not here. Can you believe that? So pralay, everything gone to causal form and came back to what it was and start all over again. And all the jeeves are here next time and they are given jnana. That's how it works. So that's why Bhagavan says, Ashwat Prahur Abhyayam. It's eternal tree. It will never be destroyed. It may not be here tomorrow, but it is always in existence. The second purpose of the pralay and creation is to free jeev of the eternal hell which he has earned by his own karma. A lot of jeev earn eternal hell, nitya narak, in which they cannot get out until the Srishti is dissolved. For whole Srishti they stay in that narak. Okay? Here we just talked about earlier, the other people believe if you don't go to heaven, you go to eternal hell. Then you're always there. Now here, there is pralay. Pralay is to get rid of the eternal hell of those jeev who have earned it. And get that part out and start whole thing all over again. So there are two reasons for pralaya. One is to start over again, to give Jeev another chance to get Gyan and to go to moksha. Other one is those who are in eternal hell, get them out of there, get the eternal hell out of their karma, and they start all over again. Everything else stays the same. Only part which goes away is their nitya narak, their eternal hell. And that is the kripa of Paramatma. That's the only reason it happens. He says he don't want to be involved in giving anybody eternal hell. His main purpose is to get moksha, eternal anand, not hell. In the new Srishti, Jeev are given Gyan again, because without Gyan there is no release from the bondage of karma. At this point, it is important to explain the process of creation and pralaya. That will explain the eternal nature of the sansar. The sansar is made of prapanch. Prapanch is the expansion of 5 bhut: earth, water, air, fire, and space. Right? So when Maya gets the nod from Ishwar to create, to start the new creation, the Srishti, the 5 bhut start to expand from its causal form. And causal form like a grain of sand, right? But they start expanding with the power of Maya. Maya makes it happen. Maya is Ishwar's primordial power. So that Maya is so powerful, it makes it happen. Maya itself gets everything out to the causal form, and then start to expand that causal form again, all these 5 bhut, and start to build the whole thing again. And thus there is earth, water, fire, and wind, and ether. Before they were in causal form, you could see. Now Maya has expanded them, and they are expanded. Now you see water, you see ground, you see mountains, you see everything. At pralaya, they contract and go back to their original causal form. Can you understand? So it is eternal. It's always there. All happens, changes the form. Expands, becomes big. That's what prapanch is. Pra means to expand. What? Panch bhut. Expansion of 5 bhut is prapanch. It's like cotton candy. Everybody probably tasted cotton candy sometime in their life. It's made out of few grains of sugar, and it expands into big old thing, right? Oh, this is nice, big. But behind that, there's only a little bit sugar. Same way this sansar is. It goes back and expands again and becomes sansar. So it is, you see it today, you may not see it tomorrow, but it is eternal. And it comes from the top. Roots is on the top. That's where it starts. Every plant you plant, first the root starts, don't it? Then the other part starts. Same thing here, but the root is up in the top. It is the causal form in which the creation is imperishable. The karya form is perishable. The expansion is perishable. You take that cotton candy and you can smash it. Correct? So the creation part is perishable. But the causal form is not perishable, it's imperishable. That's what Bhagavan is saying in this shloka. So the command for the creation is with Ishwar, and that is the root of this tree. And the trunk, Maya, is below. Adhashakham. So command come from the top, start the Shrishti, start the creation, and the Maya starts the trunk. That's what coming down now. Maya made the fine particles from the 5 bhut, and by combining these 8-fold at a time, 8 at one time, then of those 8 they puts again together, so 8 at a time, the Maya created the sansar. That is how sansar is created. Then Bhagavan says, the branch of this tree are our karma, from which relationships are made. And says, Chandansa yasya parnani. And the leaves on the branches of this upside down tree are the richas or the Vedic mantra. Chand. Chandans yasya. Yas means its. Chand means Ved. Are its foliage, leaves. Chandans yasya parnani. Parn means the leaves. Ved and Gyan of Upanishad, that's all the leaves of this tree are. Bhagavan called the leaves of the tree the Ved because the rituals and the Gyan of Ved nourishes the sansar, like the tree leaves nourish the tree. Okay? So whatever Vedic dharma is, it is limited to this sansar, not beyond it. So, just like the leaves of the tree, due to photosynthesis, they provide food and nourish the tree, and tree grows more. Same way, the Vedic rituals, that's what they do. That's why in Vedas you will see yajna, right? And Vedas only go up to heaven. That's it. Their Gyan is there. Upanishad came after Vedas. But they all have Gyan which is only related to this sansar, not to the moksha. There are so many leaves on this tree that its shade is very dense. It provides shade and peace to the jeev. Bhagavan Krishna said in Gita earlier, and we read it, Parasparam bhavayante. You do service to Devata, and in return they'll give you fruit to enjoy. So paraspar is paraspar means it's mutual thing. You worship them and they'll give you something for the sansar. That's all they give you. What people go to Devata Puja to ask for? Money, children, house, car, whatever, prosperity, right? Lakshmi Puja, so I will be very prosperous, right? Does anybody go to Devata to get moksha? No. Because all these Devata rituals are in Vedas. And these only go for the benefit of the sansar. Make the leaves grow more. Let the tree grow more, bigger and bigger. Do more karma. And the tree branches will grow. More leaves will be produced. The tree will become so dense, shade. And then you will say, oh, it's nice, shade, no heat here. You enjoy it. And then you do more. The one who, being miserable in this sansar, most people are, they think, oh, is this just, I'll do this puja, it'll be fine, this puja, it'll be fine, But those who are miserable, who see the reality, they take refuge in Ishwar. And he is helped by Ishwar. So there are both things running in the sansar. Ishwar is everywhere. Even sansar, Ishwar is there. So those who want to remain in sansar and enjoy the tapping or whatever you call it, fruits of the sansar. They do bhakti of devtas, and if they do properly, then devta will give. Otherwise, devta can really hurt you. If you don't, punish you if you don't do it properly. It has to be done in the perfectly right way. The ritual has to be performed in the correct way. If they say in the yajna, you need this leaf, this tree branches to burn, that is what you got to have. If it says that this ritual has to be done certain time of the day, nakshatra and everything, that is when it has to be done. Otherwise, it can give you, it can injure you, it can harm you. Bhagavan Krishna said that in the Gita. What did he say? He said, Devta, Ishwar Bhakti has nothing like what Devta has, no punishment in Ishwar Bhakti. Right? Devta Bhakti, there is certain punishments coming if you don't do properly. Avidhi Purvak. Right? So the next two shlok, so first shlok is, this is what this shlok says. In the next two shlok, Bhagavan is talking about the expansion of this tree of sansar. How does it grow and expand? So we'll take the next shlok.
अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसतास्तस्य शाखा गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके
Tasya shakha, the branch of this tree. Prasata, they are spread all over. Prasata, all over spread. Adhash urdham, down below, which is narak, as well as above, which is swarg. So the branches of this tree are spread everywhere, up and down. Okay? The higher branches represent the swarg, lower branches represent narak. So in this sansar, you have both. You can earn narak, you can earn swarg. In the middle, there is human body. So there is swarg higher up, narak lower form, and in the middle is human body. In the swarg or heaven, there is always pleasure. That's what swarg is. Swarg is a place where you get sensual pleasures all the time. Unlimited. That's what swarg is. Nark is a place where you get pain all the time. But in human body, which is in the middle, you get both. Sometimes you get pleasure, sometimes you get pain. Sometimes you take medications to forget about your pain, but pain is still there, right? Sometimes people take medication to hallucinate, so their mind is different, right? But it's all same. There's pleasure and the pain, both are in human body. You can earn both. You do earn both. If you do any karma, you'll earn both, not one. Pleasure will always have some pain with it. You made so much money, you are very happy. You won the lottery, All of a sudden, people come after you with their hands spread. Give me some, you got plenty, right? You don't like that. It's painful. Government says, pay this much tax. You have to do that. So with the pleasure comes pain all the time. Narak or hell, there is always pain, but the human body, there are both pleasures and pain. How do these branches grow? Guna pravadha. They are fed by three gunas. Vradha means growing. Pravardha means they grow out with three gunas, which cause the jeev to perform karma. So whenever we perform karma, we are feeding these branches to grow. They are growing more and more and more. And how many jeevs are doing karma all the time? Just imagine this tree so huge, humongous, and keep on growing geometrically, right? Somebody said they are doing research and they come across, they have a book, The Geometry of Universe. So universe is geometric. There's hierarchy in the universe. Well, we know that Devta has hierarchy, don't they? So there has to be hierarchy in this universe because they are the one who created it. There's Maya high up, then there's all kinds of Devtas. So these three gunas make jeev perform karma, and those karma are making the shoots, branches to grow. They feed them. Vishaya pravala, guna pravadha, Vishaya pravala. The tender leaves, copal, the tender leaves at the tip of the shoot is called pravala. Pravala, right? Those pravals are fed by, they have vishayas in them. They are sense objects. The sense objects, you understand sense object? Vishay. Like eyes is the sense. Its object is to see good, bad, whatever, like or dislike. Ear is for hearing. So these are all the growing tips of those shoots. They are Vishay, for which we run. Jeev wants to get those Vishay, right? Want to hear music, right? So you are tapping into that Vishay of that branch, tip of the branch. The branch, tip of the branch has all the Vishay in it. 5 senses, and there's 5 Vishay. So Vishaya pravala. Pravala has Vishay. So the 3 gunas feed the tree, and the growing tip of these branches are sense objects, Vishay. Making understand now? And those 3 gunas, under those we perform karma. And that's how the 3 gunas are feeding the branches. And the tip of the branch is Vishay. The combination of the sense object and the 3 gunas attract us into performing karma. Jeev is there in this tree, tangled up. He doesn't know where to go because there's everywhere there is leaf, jungle everywhere. He can't see no way out. He is trapped in this. Why is he trapped in this? Because his own karma. We did so many karma, so many jeevs are doing karma, and we are all trapped into it. So we have the 3 gunas and the Vishay, and they attract us to do more karma. And more karma we do, tree grows bigger. We go after the pleasures of the sense objects and act to acquire them, and this results in karma, which falls into one of the 3 gunas. And that's how the 3 gunas are feeding the tree, branches. The Gyan of Veda takes only up to heaven and not to the moksha. Only Ishwar Gyan can take us to moksha. Next, Adhasya Moolan Anusantatani Karmanubandhin Manushya Loke. Bhagavan says, Manushya Loke, in the human world, which is in the middle. Remember that? Up top there is Swarg, down below is Nara. Manushya Loke is in the middle. So in human world, where karma can be performed, karmanubandhinam mulani. Manushya Loke karmanubandhin mulani. Based on the contract, anubandh of the karma, the root that causes bondage include ego, attachment, deep desire, and longing for pleasure of sense objects. These are the roots coming out of these karma. Okay? These roots are tying us up. They are growing all over us. You see in the movies sometimes the person goes and tree grows all around him, traps him. Right? Correct? That's what it is. We do our karma, and this karma, then in the karma, ego comes in, attachment comes in, right? Vasana comes in. And they are the roots which are tying us up. That is how karma ties up, bandh, causes bondage. Is it clear now? What causes bondage is the roots coming out of the karma. They are with the karma. And why we do karma? We are longing for the pleasure of the sense objects. That's the only reason people perform karma in samsara. There's nothing else. They're saying, I am going to do this to help somebody or help the community or help the country get bigger. How the heck the country didn't get better? It's been going down ever since it was created. Huh? All people trying to get ghettos out and improve the people's lives. But they're still there. They change the form, they change the face. That's all there is. So there's ego, there's mamta, there's vasana. So adhasya anusantatani. They are pervading in all lokas, lower as well as higher. In every lok, there is, these things are anusantatani. So, to summarize this slok, the branches of the tree called sansar grow up and down and in all directions. They are fed by three gunas of the Prakriti. Based on these gunas, the Jivatma is attracted to the tender leaves of these branches, which are object of the senses. Thus, in the human world, he engages in doing karma. Little that he knows, every karma comes with a contract that ties him with the roots that hang from above, and they are ego, attachment, and vasana. We don't know, but we do karma. We are all tied under the contract, anubandh. You understand anubandh? Anu means later, bandh that ties you up. You signed a paper, now you got to pay mortgage for 30 years, whatever it is. You got bondage now. So, because of the karma, its roots are in the human sphere, Manushalok. These roots are attached to the karma. Based on the karma, the Jivatma goes up or down. Based on the contract, Jivatma gets pleasure or pain. The contract defines whether you're going to get pleasure, you're going to get pain. When you're going to get pleasure, when you're going to get pain. It's all in the contract of the karma. Karmanubandhin. This is what this tree is like. Over many lives, we have done so many karma that we are now tied fast by the roots that accompany each karma. Can you visualize it now? Our karma, we don't know what karma we did, but they all have those roots hanging in there, tying us up. We can't get out of it. Okay? That's what bandhan is. That's what bondage is. Although the main root is coming from above, there are secondary roots which are our sanskar, attachment, aversion, etc. These bind one to his karma. Okay? Attachment, irsha, dvesh, mamta, moh, they bind us to the karma. This tree is in the form of sansar, is extremely strong. Suvirud moolam, very strong, cannot be shaken. Its roots have crisscrossed and are tightened fast and have gone so deep. Suvirud moolam, it's gone so deep that it is not possible even to shake this tree. You cannot shake this tree. This means that since the beginning there have been so many karma performed in this tree of sansar that the root of ego, attachment and deep desire, vasana, which ties one to the karma, are everywhere entangled into each other. They are all tangled up. By repeatedly doing karma, our nature or swabhav has become such that we always want ras, roop, gandh, all these pleasures. Our swabhav has become that way. We want this, which are the object of the senses. Okay? We want to listen to music, we want to dance, have fun, right? That's what fun is in human terms. So this become our swabhav. How? Over many karma we did, for many lives we've been doing karma. We think these to be the anand, pleasure, and keep running after them. Thus we perform more karma, and the tree keeps growing firmer and firmer. No matter how much pain we get, none of us want to leave. We still want to stay in the sansar. We continue to want more of the same. Okay? We are lost in the dense canopy of this tree and keep jumping from one branch to another branch in search of pleasure and get tied fast more and more. So we're jumping like monkey from one branch to other branch. Let's see what is in that branch. What is in this growing tip of this branch. Let's taste this, right? It's all same. But we don't know, so we want to say, hey, let's go there. I want to go, we want to travel, we want to see what's in the world, what's going on there, right? Well, what is there? Why you come back home? No. So, Lord K, return back to home. So, it's all same, no matter where you go. They're human beings, they're animals, they're light, whatever it is, it's all same thing. So we do that in search of pleasure and get tied fast more and more in the sansar. Next, Bhagavan talks about the tree some more, and then he's telling what we can use to cut through this tree and get out of this bondage. So next slok.
न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन छित्त्वा.
Bhagavan says, Asya rupam ih tatha na upalabhyate. The root of this tree, asya rupam, the root of this tree, or the form of this tree, as it is said to be in this sansar, whatever we're talking about, the root of this tree, is not there now. This means that it is not like what it was when it was first created. Just pay attention now. What we see in this sansar today is nothing like what it was created in the very beginning. What changed? Karma. People doing, jeev doing karma more and more. In the very beginning, there was no karma. When the creation started, in the very beginning, we don't know when it was. Nobody knows when it was. Ishwar knows when it was. So when first time it started, very first time, it was totally different. Nothing like what we see today. Originally, it was in an unmanifested form, abhyakt. Okay? Tree was still there, but it was unmanifested. Ishwar is there, Maya is there, all Devata are there, everything is there, Prapanch is there, in the form of that tree. And when the creation started, it started to expand. But when it started, it was totally different what we see today, what is being talked about today. Now it is not in its original form. Narupa maseh tathopa labhyate. Okay. Its roop is not like it was in the very beginning. So Bhagavan said, Ihe asya rupam tatha na upalabhyate. Originally it was there, but in unmanifested form. Now it is visible, and the roop which is visible in it, na anto, what we see in this roop, its end is not visible. Cannot see where it ends. This tree cannot see the end of the tree. Cannot see outside. Chana adi. And when it was started, we don't know. When this tree got started, we have no idea. Nobody knows. When it became like this is not known, because originally it was unmanifested. When it became manifested, nobody knows. We don't know. How many Shrishtis have come and gone is also not known. How many times this sansar has been created and dissolved and created and dissolved? We don't. Nobody knows. Only thing we know is that it started when Ishwar decided to go to do Uddhar of Jeev, and it will end when it is completed for all Jeev. That's for fact. Why sansar started? Because Bhagavan told us. That's why we know. He said, we started this to Jeev Uddhar. And when it will end, this tree will end like it is, and all the Jeev are free of bondage. You get moksha. Then everything stops, ends. But when it started, what happened, when it's going to end, we don't know that. And until then, it will continue. And cha na sampratishtha. And its stability is also not known. We don't know how stable the sansar is. It is always changing. And when it comes and goes, none of this is known. When the sansar will come, when the sansar will go away, nobody knows. So, its beginning and end and how it will be in between, nothing is known. Then what to do? This sansar is unstable. We don't know it's going to be here tomorrow or not. So what to do? Bhagavan says, Ashwath enam suvirud moolam asanga shastrena dranena chittva. Enam suvirud moolam ashwatham. This deep and densely rooted tree, whose roots are ego, attachment, and vasana, they are the roots of this tree, is like a jungle in which, like a bird, there is jeev trapped. Why we say bird? Bird always want to fly away, right? कहते हैं इसका प्राण पखेरु उड़ गया. Pakheru is like bird. Want to always be free. Bird nature is to be free. But the bird is trapped in this dense canopy of the tree, always wanting to get out, cannot get out. And there is Jeev trapped, wanting to get out, and sees no way out because so dense, he cannot see any way out. All he sees is branches and lots of leaves. He sees karma all around. Like a trapped bird wants to be free, Jeev wants to get out, but the three gunas and the karma trap him. Cannot get out, they are tied down. Bhagavan says that this tree can be cut. You can cut through there using an axe of asang. Asang shastrain. How? Dranhen chitva. With a very drad, become very determined and use that axe of asang, the shastra of asang, then you can cut through. Why? Because all the karma is due to sang, attachment. Right? That's what causes karma. And that causes bondage. So asang, do reverse of it. Don't get attached to anything. You are doing things, that's fine, but not attached to it. And slowly you will end up cutting those karmas. Those karmas are where? They are all around us. And the three gunas are there, everything there, tying us up. So you have to take that, what shastra you use? Asanga. To get a path out of the tree, you have to cut a path out. You cannot cut the whole tree down because it's eternal tree. You cannot cut it. So you get a path out of the tree. And what you're cutting are those branches, right? And leaves. They are karma. So you cut through your karma with asang shastra and make a path. And to get path out of the tree, one needs to do every karma with no attachment. You have to do the karma. You cannot live without the karma because that's what we are here for. But how do we do the karma is the key. And that's how you use the asanga shastra. We need to understand that this world will go on even if we are not here. You understand? If we are gone today, world will still go on tomorrow. It's not going to stop because we're not here. So why to get attached to this sansar? Ask yourself. If we are attached to the sansar, the acts of asang will not work. Okay? This is the only tool which can be used to cut through and make a path to escape from this sansar. Therefore, Bhagavan says, become non-attached, unattached. This state only comes with jnana. How you use? Because you have to have jnana. And that jnana will give you the power to use that axe of asang. Because you don't have the power to use, even if you don't even understand what asang means. Right? So how can you use that thing which you don't even understand? You need that jnana. With that jnana will come the power, and you will see how to use the asanga shastra, and you get the power to use it, to cut through the whole karma. That's why before Bhagavan said, jnanana dagdha karmani. That is how jnana burns off the karma. Ironically, when we develop attachment, that is the time to practice becoming unattached. Understand? When we become attached, that's the time to practice unattached, being unattached. We are born, we grow up, we fall in love, whatever it is, get married, getting attached, right? That is the time to be unattached. Okay? It's a totally different thing. And you have to practice this while you're still young. Cannot do when you are old. When a person gets old, what happens? Hairs fall off, teeth fall off, right? Bones don't work, you limp. Go back to the childhood again. When the child is born, don't have much hairs, right? Don't have any teeth. That's what second childhood means. Okay? So, you cannot practice asang then. You are dependent on everything else around you. How can you do asang? Right? So, to practice asang is when you're still young, you have still power, you have still ability to do it. So, what this means? This means to pursue Ishwar Gyan, Ishwar Bhakti, while you're still young and youthful and you have the energy to sit down with the cross-legged one and do prayers. When you're old, you sit like on a chair. You cannot practice like you will. So you have to take time while you're still young, doing your karma, but take time to pursue Gyan, which will give you the power to use that Asanga Shastra. So slowly and slowly you get detached. Slowly and slowly you get detached. You understand now? We need Shakti to use the weapon. We cannot use weapon without power. Even today, in today's world, you have battery operated tools, don't you? But you need power to recharge them. So make a path to get out of this Ashwath tree. Now you won't forget what Ashwath means. Right? Here today or may not be here tomorrow. Right? And then what to do is in the next shloka.
ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तेः प्रसता पुराणी.
Now you got the power, Gyan, you got Shakti, right? You got Ashanga Shastra. Now you are using that Shastra. Having cut the path out of this Ashwath tree, what you do now? You cut the tree, path for yourself, not for anybody else. You can only cut path for yourself because what karma you did is the karma that you have to cut down. You cannot do for other karma, right? So you make your own path through there. It's very important to understand. Our karma is what we have to cut through. And the Shakti we get from Gyan is to cut through our own karma. Nobody else's karma. Okay? So having cut path out of this Ashwath tree, try to find the higher place. What do? Tata. After that, when you cut through and found way out, tata parimargatavyam. Carefully seek. What? Tat padam. That place. Yasmin gata. Where having gone, bhuya, again, na nivartanti. One does not return to the sansar. Okay. So you are trapped in the sansar. You want to get out of it like a bird. Bhagavan gave you the Gyan. You get the tool of asang. He gives you the power to cut through your karma. You get out of this sansar. And remember, out of this tree, there is higher power. Roots are up, right? Devata, you cut through all the Devata karma and everything. And now you are up where there is Ishwar. Huh? Yasmin gata. Going where? Having gone Bhuya na nivartante. You do not return to sansar. You understand? You go to that path. Bhagavan says, look for that pad, that place, going where you will not return to the sansar and get into the same mess again. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Clearing a path using the acts of asang, dispassion, you will not get entangled in this forest. Why? Because one of the root that ties you with it is attachment. Attachment is the root which ties you with sansara all the time. And when you practice asang shastra, there is no attachment. It's gone. You are not. Nothing is attached to you now. Nothing is binding you. Remaining unattached, you cannot be tied down. Okay? Nobody can tie you down if you are unattached. If your swabhav is like that, you are unattached, nobody can tie you down because you act that way. And traveling on this path which you made by cutting through this dense canopy, one day you will reach that supreme being, Ishwar. In chapter 9, Shlok 30, Bhagavan said, even if the vilest sinner, Mahapapi, worships me with exclusive devotion, he should be accounted as a saint, for he has rightly resolved. So what is this? We are all papi in this sansar. What is papi? Karma. We are doing karma. Any karma which is not there to help our atma to get moksha, get freedom from this sansar, is pap karma. That's why in Christians they say, for Lord, I have sinned. All the time they say, right? So we are all papi here. Don't think that we are not. We are all papi. And to get out of this pap, how you do that? Bhagavan says, even the papi, highest papi, if he worships me exclusively, then he becomes a saint. That means he got that axe. Asanga Shastra. He got Gyan. And he's cutting through the sansar for his karma and getting out of here. So he is a saint. Because he has rightly resolved. His resolve is correct. What is correct resolve? To help your Atma get out. He is now on the high path from where he shall not fall. We all have been born repeatedly and have accumulated so many karma that have tied us to the sansar. At this point, we will take up the chance given to us and worship Ishwar. Okay? At this point, if we take the chance given to us and worship Ishwar with exclusive devotion, okay? Ananya Bhakti. Not this, today I am going to worship Ishwar, tomorrow I go to this Devta, tomorrow I go to this Sai Baba, whatever. No. Exclusive devotion. We will be on the high path that will lead us to the Almighty Ishwar. If not, we will simply remain in the sansar and be subject to its wrath. Having taken this path, what should we do? We should confess and say, Tameva Chadhyam Purusham Prapadye. I seek refuge in that primeval Purush. That Ishwar, I seek refuge. I am in your Sharan. That's what Arjun said in very beginning. Right? Karpanya dosho prahata subhava prachami cham. And next. Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. I am your disciple and I am in your prapaddi means I am in your feet. I am in your. Please tell me. So, ye tamev chadyam purusham prapadde. I seek refuge in that primeval Purush, Ishwar. Yatah pravritti prasata purani. From whom the flow of this beginningless Ashwat tree, the creation has progressed. Next, we will see what happens to those who have taken this high path. Jai Shri Krishna.